Hello and welcome to another episode of the Unfuck Yourself podcast. I'm really excited because today we are giving you another little tiny clip and portion from our 3-hour live Glow Foundation workshop that we did last week. We have had incredible results so far. We are even getting in reports of energetic Botox results so far. One queen reported in and said literally a day after the workshop, she couldn't even move her forehead, like couldn't even get a wrinkle in there, as if she literally got Botox. We're getting results of people finding money, people getting one girl said her FICO score went up. We're getting results of a girl literally during the workshop of us doing this got a call for one of her dream opportunities in work. So it's really cool, the energy shifts that can happen from this. So I wanted to share another little clip from the workshop on here for you. Again, this workshop was 3 hours. So much going on, and I understand the FOMO. I'm getting so many DMs about the FOMO. So we will put the link to purchase the recording from the Glow Foundation workshop in the show notes. And also a reminder that Glow formula is now open, but only if you're ready to go advanced, only if you are ready to take radical responsibility. If you are not, I suggest waiting to get in there. But we will put both of those things in the show notes for you. So let's go ahead and get into the little clip we picked to put on today from the Glow Foundation. If you haven't listened to the first one, we put on a clip from the Glow Foundation, the episode right before this as well. So go listen to that one too. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. 2 things we cannot get around in being on Earth and humans is recognition and validation. Validation is not in the source definition. Validation is not in actually getting the thing, but it is in the want for the thing. And I'll explain that later. But recognition is a big deal for our creator fields, okay? And so is feeling special. At the root of recognition and validation, the core root of desiring those things is feeling special. Now, seeking validation from the outside to fill a missing piece in your life is only going to keep you in that cycle. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the source truth on what truly overcoming this reoccurring soul lesson that keeps coming up in your life really looks like. The reoccurring soul lesson meaning not feeling special enough, not feeling valuable enough, not feeling good enough, not feeling whatever enough, not feeling insert the blank enough, right? I'm going to use special in my story and spiel here as an example. If special's not your problem, fill it in with whatever it is that you feel the imbalance is, okay? I had to tell you though, underneath what we think is a problem, it's going to be a lack of feeling special. I'll save you the time of trying to figure out what it is. 99.8% of the time, it's going to be a disconnect of feeling special. Seeking, okay, so let me get back on my train of thought. So we're going to use the spiritual, energetic, scientific laws, that's a mouthful, that will make this all possible. So I want to talk about the relationship of the physical world to the inside world. And the inside world meaning your knowing of who you are, all that you bring, the whole shebang. Now, true knowing goes against everything we are taught in the physical world. We are taught at a very young age to look for validation. Who here has felt that? Where have you been taught to look for validation? Let me know in the chat. Let's see it. In school, outwards, church, boys, family, from others, exterior, school, validation from my family, parents, church. Church is a big one. From everyone else, good. Parents, amazing. Okay, so in today's society has gotten so far with validation that we've got something I have never even thought about before, which is like participation awards, participation trophies, right? And we are in like you just get an award for participating age. And while I think that's actually pretty fucking great because we are starting to recognize and celebrate and find the good in everything, like even just showing up and doing your best, that's the good side of it, right? But the problem with that is it constantly has us looking for validation outside of us. It's making it almost impossible to make headway in our reoccurring soul lessons and actually figuring them out and stopping them for good. Reoccurring soul lesson meaning you don't feel special, okay? We tend to experience our first reoccurring soul lesson that we can remember usually around the ages between 5 and 7 years old. It's where I tend to find the first reoccurring soul lesson is triggered. It's launched and it's broadcasted throughout our whole entire life. Once a reoccurring soul lesson gets wind, sometimes it will reoccur in the same area and then they tend to go on in cycles. So sometimes it might be on a yearly cycle, a 5-month cycle, an 18-month cycle. It's sort of this repeating pattern that goes on throughout our life. So, meaning if we feel not special with regard to our family life, here's just an example. My example of my life. Cough, cough. So, meaning if we don't feel special in regard to our family life, we start out at 6 years old, right? And one of our parents, the one we want to spend time with, which, are usually both, but, kids have like kind of a favorite sometimes, the go-to parent. And that's always usually the one who like can't spend time with us, right? And so then we end up from the outside feeling like, well, if we were more special, our parents would be around more, right? That's what happens. It's literally that simple of like a concept that starts this fucking loop, this self-image loop that we go into then to our 20s, 30s, 40s. And what happens is that lesson starts to reoccur. It tends to happen usually over days, over weeks, over months, over years, and they go on and on and on and on for a long period of time. Now, we can avoid these with tools, and the tools inside of here and the tools inside of the GLOW formula will wipe all of these problems out for you. But I want to get you understanding why things have just kept being the same fucking reoccurring pattern in every single area of your life. Then what happens is once it is sort of kind of set things in stone, and we've gotten to this place of this belief has formed from the outside in. We're now deciding the outside things determine if we are special or not. Now, our souls are here to essentially get this concept from the inside out, which means we are supposed to push against the world and essentially overcome anything we see on the outside as irrelevant, like the overcome the idea that anything we see on the outside is irrelevant to what I am feeling inside. Basically, the sole goal here is doesn't fucking matter if 1 billion people are telling you you're wrong. If you are connected to your own intuition, you believe and know something to be true, you are fucking right, okay? If 100 people are telling you you're not special, you're going, that's weird because I am special. That's the goal that your soul is here to accomplish, okay? Now, for so many reasons, and I'll explain why, but this is tough. But our spirit selves are here to get absolute knowledge and the highest levels of understanding of things, okay? We are supposed to gain this knowing. A true knowing is something that you know no matter what. Whatever happens on the outside, whatever the proof is, and whatever you do to not have to show for it, okay? So whatever the proof is or whatever it is you do or do not have, or whatever is happening on the outside, the true knowing is fuck that. I actually know in here and I'm validating myself, recognizing myself, giving myself the validation, words. I can't say the word, recognition I need in order to feel all of X, Y, and Z, all of these things about myself. So it doesn't matter if 100 million people on the planet are saying, you're wrong. True knowing is going, it doesn't matter what 100 million people are saying. I'm fucking right. Can you picture, like real quick, explaining energetic boob job or energetic Botox to someone other than outside of you guys? Can you just see me doing that in the world? I have to be okay with everyone fucking telling me, Allie, you're fucking insane. Like she's cuckoo banana. Send her to fucking the mental hospital. I have to be okay with that. And I have to be able to have all these people telling me you're fucking cuckoo bananas and me going, nope, I don't care what you say. I know this is true because I know it. It's worked for me. I've seen it work for other people. I've channeled it from source. It is that deep, deep, deep rootedness to your specialness, to whatever it is that you're getting rooted to right now, okay? Again, at the core of anything you're trying to get rooted to, it is feeling special and unique, and we'll get into why. But same thing, we have to get insanely rooted no matter what people are saying. I could not be out here talking about energetic Botox like we're gonna do later if I was worried that people were gonna tell me I was wrong. I'm prepared for everyone in this room to be like, Allie, you're fucking crazy, and be like, okay, like it's not gonna change what I know to be true. Now, this comes with tools, this comes with emotional ingredients. Don't worry, I'm not gonna give you motivational speech and then leave you hanging with no tools to actually implement this. You're gonna get a lot of tools. But first, I'm just giving like a little rundown of what the fuck's going on and why we're going through the things that we are experiencing. Okay, essentially the idea is to be going, I know the truth. I have this inner knowing and it is unwavering. So, validating from the outside in will never work and will always leave you craving and wanting more. Now, what is the problem with craving and wanting more? Who can tell me in the comments, in the chat? What is the problem with craving and wanting more? Let's open up the chat here. Never feeling truly special, you repel it anyway, you'll never be good enough, external, not feeling enough, never valid or satisfied, never be enough, never feeling satisfied, comes from a place of lack, yes. Focus on lack, we don't have, your creator will always feel lack. Incredible. You guys are spot on. The problem with telling yourself, or the problem with leaving yourself feeling always craving and wanting more, is when we want something, what happens? There is a universal law called the law of opposing forces. Now, we're going to use this law to our advantage today. We're going to hack the law to use to our advantage today. However, here's where this law can fuck us. The law of opposing forces is essentially, if you really, really are for something, everyone else around you has to be against that same very thing, okay? So you'll see this in politics, right? When two people, one really, really far this way and one really, really far that way, are so rooted to whatever they're saying, it's because that they have to be, because neither of them are seeing the balance in both. Neither of them are seeing the neutrality in both situations. So it's why when you take one really strong stance, the other person is taking another really strong stance and fighting against you. It's called the law of opposing forces. So if you are really, really, really wanting something, that thing you're wanting has to really, really, really not want you. And why we get in a place of want and craving and like, I need it, I need more, is because we feel like that is going to mean that we are special and that we are important and that we are validated and that I did a good job. But it never does, because what happens is we get it. It's a temporary high. We feel good for a second, and then we want the next thing. We're like, oh, I didn't fill the void. Oh, I filled the void for a few seconds or a few weeks. I got that temporary high. It's like a drug. But then I feel back to how I felt. And then you almost feel worse. You're like, wait a minute. I got the Lamborghini. I got the mansion. I got the boyfriend. I got the career. And I still feel like trash balls. And then you feel even worse because you're like, what the fuck's wrong with me? It didn't work. And so that is the problem, okay? Not only can you actually create and manifest the source way so much better from a self-image place, an inside-out place, but you also can enjoy then what you manifest. What do you want to fucking get a Lamborghini and then cry in it every day? No, you don't. Doesn't help, okay? So when we are children, when we're maybe around 5 or 6 years old, and a parent is not around, we go to the place of, quote, well, if I was special, they would put me first and they would be here. We don't really think that way as a kid, but it's like the subconscious does that, right? And we like think like, oh, like if daddy or mommy cared or whoever cared, like they would be around, right? And it's our kind of nature to go, there must be something about me why they're not around. Our soul chooses these things. Our soul chooses our parents. So it goes, oh, I know that if I pick Allie's dad, and Allie's dad's soul is actually a really high frequency soul, but he's going to sign up to play this like villain, quote, role in her life because it's going to make her not feel special. Then she's going to feel so tired of not feeling special that she's going to finally, when she's 19, fucking do something about it. And then she's going to like heal it. And then it's going to get her on her soul purpose and on her soul path in this lifetime. And then she's going to be the most fulfilled she could ever be. And then she's going to make more money than she ever could. And then she's going to get like the dream relationship that, you know, she's always dreamed of. See what I'm saying? See how this works? It's to get us to realize certain things, to learn certain lessons, to then become source essentially, okay? And we can become source in human form, or we can choose to become source in non-human form. Don't want to go there. It's a whole different topic. But I could. Don't get me started on that topic. So we can choose which way to go. But the idea is to essentially become source. The villain I'm saying is not actually the villain. The villain is actually a soul who signed up to play that role because that soul loves us the most. We've lived a lot of past lives with that soul, and that soul loves us so fucking much that it decided, I'm gonna sacrifice this life to be the fucking idiot villain for you to not feel special so that you can go down this whole rabbit hole of being so fed up so that you can feel special, so that you can get on your soul path, so you can be the most fulfilled version of yourself, and you can create all the things you desire to create, and you can break this cycle. Well, I just felt so much forgiveness and gratitude. Totally. 100%. And I'm not saying this just so you guys know from like an ignorant place. Like, you know, your girl has had her fair share of soul lessons, like sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, like the whole 9 yards. So I just want you to know, I'm not saying this from like an ignorant place, but this is the source perspective. Our soul chooses all of that. And of course we have to play the human too. We have to have the human emotion, the human rage and get it out. But then we can have the balance of seeing it from the source perspective as well. Okay, we can have the balance of going, holy fuck, my soul chose this to literally get me on my soul path because it knew that this was going to get me so fed up that I finally did something about it.